Welcome, my Phoenix family, to One-Footed Phoenix. There are many things that people have said to me that haven't been the most polite. So today I'm going to be highlighting those things and also giving you something to say instead so that you know exactly what to say to someone next time you see a disabled person. Simply coming up to me and saying what happened is not exactly the most polite way of asking me about my disability. Simply saying what happened is kind of rude because I'm just going about my normal day and trying to do my normal things, and then you come up and ask for my complete life story. It's kind of rude. I mean, like, you wouldn't go up to someone random on the street and just be like, yo, give me your deepest, darkest secrets right now! A better way to state this would be, do you mind if I ask you about your disability? Or may I ask you what happened? This gives the disabled person a choice in saying whether or not they would like to disclose their entire story to you, and if they honestly have time to disclose their entire story to you, because sometimes I just don't have time to get into it and I'm trying to go about my normal day. Don't come up to a disabled person and go, oh my gosh, you're such an inspiration! But for what? Like, I'm an inspiration because I live in a wheelchair? Question mark? I mean, I should be an inspiration for more than just having a disability. I should be an inspiration because I'm helping other CRPS amputees, or I should be an inspiration because I'm learning how to do things on my own again, or I should be an inspiration for being a good artist, or I should be an inspiration for being a good YouTuber. But just simply saying that I'm an inspiration because I have a disability is not necessarily a good thing. It's something that bothers a lot of disabled people, actually, when people are like, you're such an inspiration for just living! And I should be able to be an inspiration for more than just living in my life. So instead of saying you're such an inspiration, say you're an inspiration for blank, and leave it at that. I'm an inspiration for whatever I'm an inspiration for, but I'm not an inspiration for just having a disability. Don't say, oh my gosh, you're so hot for a disabled person. Instead, say, you're beautiful, and just leave it at that, because disabled people are beautiful, and they're still human, and that they're still people, and they deserve to feel beautiful, and they deserve to feel like they can be pretty, not in spite of their disability, but maybe even because they have a disability, it makes them even more beautiful. Don't say, I couldn't handle being disabled. This one's just as bad as saying, oh my gosh, if I was disabled, I would kill myself. Don't say either one of those things, because there are a lot of people in the disabled community that struggle with depression and suicidal thoughts. And saying something like this just increases those tendencies and reinforces that we should be sad all the time, when it isn't true that we should be sad and depressed all the time just because we have a disability. There's many people also in the disabled community that live wonderful and fulfilling lives. So instead of saying those things, you should say, I'm not sure I can imagine myself as disabled. That's fair. Because you've never been in my shoes, you're not really sure what it would be like to be a disabled person, and that seems like an okay thing for you to say to me. Don't say, if you just have faith, you'll be healed. This one can be super offensive, especially to someone who is of faith, like me, because faith is such a personal thing, and I believe that faith is something that is not just, like, there to be healed, but I believe that also sometimes you have to have the faith not to be healed, and I think in my case I really do need to have the faith not to be healed. And I have conditions that are said to have no cure for, and so instead of saying, if you just have faith, you'll be healed, say instead, may I pray for you to learn to adapt to your new life, or may I pray for you to learn to do new things. And that is a more okay thing to say to someone that is disabled, because you're acknowledging, first of all, that they are disabled, and second, you're acknowledging that they may be struggling with something that cannot be healed. And so you're saying, like, may I pray for you that you can adapt to your new life, is something way better to say. Don't say some lame joke about speeding when I'm in my wheelchair. It's dumb and it's rude. Instead, say something like, I really like the color of your wheelchair. How did you pick it out? Or, your casters are super cool because they go up and down and they have springs in them. Or say something like, I really admire the fact that your wheelchair can do wheelies, or something like that. You know, find some way to compliment me maybe about my wheelchair instead of just saying like some lame joke about speeding in the wheelchair. Don't refer to me as wheelchair bound. Referring to me as wheelchair bound implies that my wheelchair is limiting to me, and it implies that my wheelchair is a bad thing, which it's absolutely not a bad thing. My wheelchair is such an amazing tool to help me get out and do things when I can't wear my prosthetic leg, and it's also an amazing tool just for around home when I don't want to have my prosthetic leg on because my prosthetic can be painful. So don't say that I'm wheelchair bound, but instead you should say I'm a wheelchair user, or Amanda is a wheelchair user. And lastly, don't say, have you tried X, Y, and Z? Because most likely I have tried X, Y, and Z, and most likely I have tried whatever weird voodoo cream or essential oil you're going to refer me to, but don't say that it can heal all of my ailments, because it can't. There is no cure for CRPS. There is no cure for being a dyslexic. So don't say those kinds of things because it's just rude. Instead, you should just acknowledge the disability. Like saying something like, wow, I didn't know you had dyslexia. Or like saying something like, wow, I didn't know CRPS was something that couldn't be cured. If you haven't heard, I'm working on putting a course together for new and prospective amputees to help them to be able to make the decision to amputate, but also to help them be successful in their new lives as amputees. If you're interested in that, stay tuned because I'll have more information coming in the following weeks. I encourage you to share this video with a friend who needs to hear this information. And it's good for everyone to know what they shouldn't be saying to disabled people. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. It means a ton to me as the creator that you're spending time out of your busy schedule to come spend it with me. If you would like to see another One-Footed Phoenix video, click over here. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you! Bye!